Hi everyone, how are you doing tonight? It is snowing here. Lovely winter. So I have my blanket, I have my pile of books that I'm reading, and I have some eggnog that I'm drinking. And I did my nails the other day in my new red, but it's not very red. Like it's kind of pink more than red. Yeah. But so let's see who is here. We have M. Hi, M. What are you reading tonight, M? We have Morgan, who is reading Waiting for Christmas by Lynn Austin. Lynn Austin is one of my options here. I'll talk about it in a minute. I don't want to tell everybody what I'm reading before everybody arrives. So I don't have to repeat myself multiple times. Really? That's why? Yeah, that's really, I have been working on trying to figure out plans for the rest of December, like channel wise, and going into 2026. So it's kind of where my brain is. I don't know how much reading I'll actually do tonight. So we have Sharon who's saying hello. Hi, Sharon. We have Cav. Yay for sprints. Perfect chilly night to snuggle under a cozy blanket and read. I've just started Not Exactly Mr. Darcy by Carolyn Miller. Really good so far. I really enjoyed Carolyn Miller's hockey books. I have not read anything else by her. And Bethany just got Waiting for Christmas in the mail today, along with several other books. What other books did you get, Bethany? And hi, Kelly. Kelly will be reading Alliance Bride by J.L. Knight. And we have Susan saying hi to everyone. Hello, Susan. And Bethany, I haven't grabbed my books yet. Okay. So I am currently reading on my Kindle. It's gonna pop up. It'll tell me where I am at least. Okay, so I'm on chapter 23, 49%. Come on, cover. Of My Merry Mistake by Courtney Walsh. I am buddy reading this with Anne from In Search of Wonder. And so right now I'm just kind of waiting to see how much further I can read. Then I am reading Dying Declaration by Randy Singer. Very slow going. I am only on page 97. Chapter 20 though. Like these are really short chapters. I really like that. It is a legal fiction. We're following a mother and a father who have been charged with manslaughter of their child for neglect. And then there is another case with a law professor who has been charged with preaching on a corner without a permit. And so at some point they're going to connect. They just have not connected yet. And then my audiobook is The Wish Book Christmas by Lynn Austin. And this is book 2 of the If I Were You. Is that the name of the series? Yes, it is. I had to look at the first book. So I'm just starting this one, so I haven't really started it yet. So I've got historical, contemporary legal, and contemporary romance on my Kindle. And I might be reading those Christmas novellas. One is Karen Whittemire or Tide and Punishment by Bree Baker. Well, Tide and Punishment is a cozy mystery, I think, and sounds kind of Christmassy. And maybe not. Maybe I'm reading into that. And the Karen Whittemire one, do I have that one on audio or do I have that one on ebook? I don't know. That might be. I don't know. Hey, Bethany, 14 others. It was Black Friday sale at Tyndall. Okay, I got ya. Yeah. And Sharon is reading Emma M. Lyon, Volume 5. And Alma is here. Hi, Alma. I am working on watching your most recent video, but I have not made it very far. I start watching and then something comes up and I have to stop and then I get distracted and then I start it. At some point, I will actually finish the video. I was listening to part of it, but then when I saw you were at the Christmas gift, I'm like, I need to watch this part. So we'll see. And Alma is going to be listening to an audio tonight, The Redemption by Mary Lou Tyndall. I'm finally reading a pirate book for Katie's reading challenge. It's really good so far. Christian fiction. Interesting. Did I read something for pirates for Katie's? No, I'm wondering. I know I've not read the over 500 pages. Definitely not. So for pirates, I put in To Love a Beast by Karen Whittemire. I have no idea why. It's not coming to mind of how that fit. Oops. I don't know. Yeah. And we have Rachel here. Hi. And I'm slowly reading A Seaside Wonder by Melissa Tagg. I'm looking forward to My Merry Mistake next. Okay. It's enjoyable. Have you read book 1 and 2 in the Holidays with Heart series by Courtney Walsh? I feel like you kind of need to really get to know the characters, but I mean, you don't have to. Anne did not, and she's reading it. But yeah. So, okay, we're gonna go straight into a sprint. Yes, I should focus on reading. We are at, where's my clock? 8:06. Wow, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm with it tonight. Okay, so Rachel says, yes, I love book 1. Okay, yes, book 1 was my favorite too. So yeah, there's a really good, nice scene for those who are lovers of book 1. That's all I'll say. I won't say much more. Okay, so we're looking at 35. Let's go there. Let's go there. And I have found this kind of snowy Christmas, more fireplace and snow ambient room. So let's read. Okay, so that is the end of our first reading sprint. How did you do? I made it to, well, of course, this is a longer chapter. When I say these are short chapters, so I made it to halfway through chapter 22. Well, I have two pages left in 22. I started at 97, got to 117, so 20 pages during that. And there is a jailhouse scene between some inmates that was kind of like, I did not like reading it. Where did we leave off? Okay. So, Bostein, I'm sorry, I forget what your first name is. We'll be reading Leap Day in the Square by Aaron Mangum. It's an enemies to lovers contemporary romance. I've heard some really good things about that one. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever read Aaron Mangum. I'm sure I have. Honestly, I don't know. And Annie, hi. I will be reading The Christmas Thief by Leslie Meyer, maybe? And Bethany just finished watching my nephews play basketball on YouTube. Oh, that's cool. I'll be reading some All's Fair in Love and Christmas. I can't decide if I'm going to like it or not yet. All's Fair in Love and Christmas. Who's that by? I don't recognize the name. And Morgan got one chapter read. One chapter is progress. Further than you were a sprint ago. Oh, Sarah Monzon. Okay. Yes. Okay. I have seen that cover. And Cav says, I read 24 pages of Spring, really, really enjoying Carolyn Miller's storytelling style and the way she sets the story up. I already have lots of questions. Yes, and that keeps you wanting to read because you need to know, right, what's going on. Yeah, I have really enjoyed her books. And Alma read All's Fair last December and enjoyed it. So there you go, Bethany. Alma enjoyed it. And Michelle, hi, Jeanette. Well, hi, Michelle. I love your channel so much. Well, thank you. I just got on reading sprints, so I've only read a chapter. I'm reading In Time for an Amish Christmas by Samantha Price. I have not heard of that one, but I don't read a ton of Christmas books on a normal basis, and I don't read a lot of Amish. So, yeah. This month is being a little bit different because I do have quite a few Christmas books on my list. And I think when I looked at last year's list, I think I read 2 Christmas books last year. And this year I've already read 2 with more planned. I am reading Still the One by Susan May Warren and Rachel Russell. Nice. Nice. So I am going to switch from this Dying Declaration to My Merry Mistake, which, yes, I realize you guys can't see the cover. This is such a cute cover. It is black and white because it's my Kindle, but yeah, My Merry Mistake. So I'm going to switch to that one during our next sprint. But I thought before we go to a sprint, let's just talk random books. So I have my prompt jar here. I'm going to pull a prompt and we're going to answer with a book that fits that prompt. Are you ready? Well, hopefully it's not like a random pick and it's actually something that gives me a book too. Okay. Author uses initials. The first one that comes to mind for me is Lynn H. Blackburn. She writes romantic suspense, and I have loved majority of her books I have read. My favorite would be, let me grab it. I've got this extra chair here because we put up our Christmas tree and it makes it hard to get to some of my bookcases. So my favorite is In Too Deep by Lynn H. Blackburn. This is book 2 of the Dive Team Investigations series. It is a series that I really recommend reading in order because all the characters are in book 1 and you really got to get to know their backstory. And in this one, we are following Adam and Sabrina. And I love the way this one opens. Yeah, it stands out to me. I know I can read the line without like it's on page 20, but the book starts on page 13. So like 7 pages in. And the line is, "They killed me, ask Adam." Like I just love it. I need my blanket again. Okay. So Cat Mom, my friend Sue would be very happy with that channel name. So I just found your channel this week. Well, thank you. I'm loving the bingo for the 2026 challenge, and I'm reading The Christmas Couple by Sydney Muse. Maybe? I don't know. I don't recognize that author. Well, I hope you will have fun for the bingo board for 2026. That is my only plan so far for 2026. I need to work on my goals and my plans. And Cav, Sarah M. Eden is the first author that comes to mind. She writes closed-door historical romances, mostly Regency, but other eras as well. I have not read her, but I have a few on my list that have always piqued my interest. The Letter to Byerton Park, I think that's what it's called, or is The Weaver's Daughter, has the puff on the cover. Those are the two that, I don't know, just because of the covers. The letter is The Stairs Up to a House, I want to say. I'm not sure. And Alma just finished reading a Rosanna M. White book. I have read one book by that author. I need to read more. And Terry, I'm reading One Christmas in Winter by Belle Renshaw. Okay. And Jennifer L. Wright is historical fiction. Jennifer L. Wright. Is that the author? Why did I pick up my phone when I'm sitting in front of my computer? I could have looked it up on Goodreads, but too late now. I have a book on my wish list. Is that her? Light Over Galveston? Yes, that is her. Last Light Over Galveston. Again, the cover draws me in. Okay. Alma says C.S. Lewis. Yes. And Jeannie, hi, Jeanette. I keep forgetting to convert to CST. The author I first thought was Joel C. Rosenberg because I'm currently reading the 5th of a 6-book series by him, The Libyan Diversion. Libyan, I think. That is one of my brother's favorite authors. I have never read him, but I'm aware of him. And Susan is at 20% of All My Bones by P.J. Nelson. And Alma, I read a couple of Jenny L. Walsh books. And Cat Mom says T.I. Lowe, she's great too. I actually have one of her books on my shelf. Indigo Isle is by her. And Susan says, I love Jenny L. Walsh. And Elma says, oh, and a middle grade historical fiction, Jennifer A. Nielsen. And Bethany, I got Last Light Over Galveston in the mail today. I think I have an addiction. It's okay. I see that it's on sale on Amazon right now, and I'm kind of like, do I buy it? But then I'm like, I also said I wasn't buying any books, and I've already bought 2 November, December-ish. I mean, it was my birthday. But after my book haul in September, I was like, I'm not buying any more books because my books are full. But I mean, I've got room on the historical shelf. Like that's all historical unread. So that's what I've been reading. So there's room there. The rest of them are a little full. And Berlin, I love your channel. Well, thank you. I recently binge read the Dive Team Investigation series since you recommended it. I've never read Lynn H. Blackburn, but now I want to read all of her books. Yeah, I get it, right? That the Dive Team Investigation series was the first one I read by her, and I read them as they were coming out. When I read the first one, it was like, I need the second one. I need it. And so I binged that series. Well, I binged that series. I read that series as they were released, and then I went back and binged the series. And then I read all her books since. I love her writing. And Elma Morgan L. Bussey is a fantasy author. Yeah, never read that. But I don't read fantasies, so that's not surprising. Okay, Lee, I read Jennifer L. Wright's Come Down Somewhere and really liked it, but want to read her Galveston book. I feel like maybe we should do a book club next year. I don't know. I don't know if I want to lead one. I just want to be involved in one. Susan loves J.C. Rosenberg. The Lady in Diversion is a great series too, one I will reread. Oh, interesting. Elma, Ellen Montgomery. Yes. I read her Anne of Green Gables series completely this year. And yeah, I read a few others by her too, but. And Susan, accumulating books is addictive. Yes, it is. And Lee C.C. Warrens, Beth K. Voigt, and Jessica R. Patch. I have read Beth Voigt. I have not read the other two, but I do own books. I own a Jessica R. Patch book for sure. I feel like I own a C.C. Warren book on my Kindle, but I'm not 100% sure. I own Jessica's physically. That's how I know for sure I have it. And Elma says, and our girl, Christy A. Cole. Yes. And Chloe's here. Hi, Chloe. And Susan says, a book club would be awesome. Yeah, I just don't want to lead it. Don't make me come up with questions. Lee, I am realizing that I read more authors with 3 names than those who use initials. Interesting. I haven't really looked at my list that way to see. Mine are probably going to be 2 names, probably, because, yeah, I've read a lot of Lynette Eason. That's kind of the one that sticks out. Sarah Sundin, Karen Whittemire, like most of them are 2. Yeah. And Lee, yes, a book club sounds great. And Elma says, I would love a book club. Oshina mentioned she may read Francine River books in 2026. Have you ever read any of her books? No, I have not. And I don't know. I have read the first chapter in, the name has just escaped me. Wow. See, here I go to pick up my phone again when I can just do it this much easier and quicker. Well, I say quicker. Goodreads doesn't want to cooperate. What author were we talking about? Francine Rivers. Oh, wow. Why can I not? It's like an abandoned baby left at the Bridge to Haven. That's the one I read the first chapter of because my best friend gave me the first chapter of a few different books, a couple book misses ago. And I had to try to guess which books were which and then read one of the books. And that was one of the first chapters. But no, I've never read any of her books. And I don't know. I'm just not intrigued by them, not drawn in. I don't know. And Elma says, yes, Lee, I was going through my read list on Goodreads to see what I was seeing too. Nice. And Berlin has T.I. Lowe being mentioned? Yes. And Catman Mom says, I like it when books have discussion questions in the back. Those help me when doing the Goodreads reviews for books also. I've never thought about that, using them for good review. Good read. Wow. Goodreads reviews. Michelle, I just finished the Natchez Trace. I'm probably not saying that right, but by Patricia Bailey. Brad, wow. Either I've not had enough coffee to drink or it's too late and I need to go to bed. Patricia Bradley. I really enjoyed it. I live in Mississippi, but I've never visited. Are you still working on that series? Yes, I have read book 1. I have the other 3 to read. And actually, when we were in Tennessee in September, we were looking at places to see in Nashville. And I looked at the start of the parkway. I think it's the start or part of the parkway is by Nashville. And I was like, could we go there just so I could take a picture of the bridge and stuff? But we did not do that. That is not coming up in a vlog because we did not do it. And I know that the book I read was not Tennessee. It was Mississippi or Louisiana, something. It was further south anyways. And Terry, that's a great idea, using discussion questions to help with Goodreads. Yeah, it is an awesome idea. And Michelle, Francine Rivers is the best. You should give her a try. I should. I think she's just one that really intimidates me, or some of the stuff I've heard about, it's just not really up my alley. I don't know. I should try to give her more. And Susan, you could do a book club on Discord channel. I have no idea what that entails. I actually thought about Discord. I thought about it, but I haven't like really looked into it. I have Discord and I followed like a couple channels, like Anna from In Search of Wonder has a Discord channel, so chat on there a bit. But that's about my knowledge of Discord, is being a user, not a creator side of it. So we'll see. And Lee, I think you could also use Storygraph for book clubs. You probably could, but I don't use Storygraph. And I have been on Goodreads for years. Like, I think my shelf, let me look because I have Goodreads open. My first shelf is 2012. So years. So all my books are on there. So I'm like, the thought of switching over, not going to happen anytime soon. And Michelle says, I want to visit Nashville on one day. I knew what you meant. Yeah. We really kind of drove through Nashville. We've been to Nashville twice. Well, maybe 3 times, but each time we've driven by. Like, we stopped at the Grand Ole Opry one time. Or maybe we stopped there twice. This time we really just did more stores and the Parthenon. If you've watched my channel for a little while, you know why we went there. And that one is coming up in one of the vlogs eventually in the next little while. This week is really a vlog week on my channel. Just be warned, it is a vlog week. There is no like sit down and book chats. Okay, Susan says, good idea, Lee. And Bethany, pausing to go give her puppy his insulin. I'll catch up soon. Well, hopefully that goes smoothly. Okay, so I don't like going to odd. We're at 54. I'd like to be at even. So we need to chat for another 6 minutes. Can we do it? Yeah, so as I said, it is a vlog week this week on my channel. Basically, my vacation vlogs are going up every other day, sort of. Tomorrow I have well, maybe they are every other day. Tomorrow I have my Wednesday weekly that's going up from my reading last week. And then it will be back to vacation vlogs. I think the last vacation vlog will be next Monday, I think. I scheduled them a little while ago, so now I don't remember. Yeah. I do know that the one with Amanda is on Saturday, just so you know. Yeah. Don't get too excited, though. We did not, neither one of us took very much footage because we were in the moment. Yeah. Okay. Well, I am failing at talking for 6 minutes because I've already run out of items to talk about. And Terry says, I love vlogs, looking forward to watching them. Good. I really debated about, especially the Dollywood ones, like today's, and we go back to Dollywood in another day. I debated about them because I'm not great at vlogging on camera in front of people or around people. Like, I mean, Andrew's a little bit different, but around strangers and in public, basically. So I don't do a lot of talking, but I like to be able to see. And I watched so many Pigeon Forge and Dollywood related videos before we went, so I could see what to expect, kind of plan ahead and stuff. So that's kind of what I wanted to, like, what we saw walking around. So that's why some of it's the way it is. Okay, and Jeannie says, I haven't been down the Natchez Trace, but I would like to. It's a great trip through Mississippi, starting just south of Nashville all the way to Mississippi. Okay, so Natchez is a place in Mississippi? Huh, interesting. And Lee, yes, I enjoyed your first vacation video. I didn't watch today's yet. Well, that's okay. You don't have to. It just went up. I happened to be looking over at my husband, he's watching on his tablet, and he's normally watching YouTube on his tablet. And I looked over and I'm like, oh, I'm like, he's watched the vacation videos because I had him proof them all before we posted. So that, like, okay, do you think I should add anything? So he's watched them, but then he was watching it on the channel and I was like, well, that's nice. But then he kept going back to his favorite spots. Okay, so Michelle says, I love the way you have your reading journal notebook set up. Can you buy it like that, or did you set it up that way? I set it up that way. I created it. And I will be doing another one. Like, I will be setting up next year's. I'm actually working on trying to figure out that. I have ideas. Like, for example, okay. So I have my book reviews section, right? Then my plan was to all the book, like, print off the book covers as I read them, so in order with the star ratings. Okay, then it went great. Like, it went great for a while. What happened? And, like, I mean, near the end, I'm not even doing the star ratings anymore. Like, I've just, yeah. So I really like seeing, like, I like seeing the books this way, but I don't like printing all the book covers, cutting them, sticking them on. So I have a plan for next year of how I'm going to do that. So, you know, and I'm trying to figure out, and I didn't leave myself enough space for the number of books I read this year, but I never know how many I'm going to read because I've read more than I read last year. And I mean, that's totally audiobooks because of audiobooks. But so I'm kind of thinking, playing around with it, but that is one of the videos that I hope to do, like, very, very soon. Like, maybe next week. We'll see. And Cat Mom says, how was Dollywood? I haven't been there in 30 plus years. It was good. So we went for 2 days. It was our very first time ever going the first day. And it was overwhelming. And not knowing, even with all the videos I watched, like, not knowing where things were exactly, looking at the map, and it was busy. I mean, it wasn't overly busy, but it was busy. And we have been to Disney a number of times. So I was used to that kind of, like, a theme park setup. It's not that the whole theme park thing was new to me, but the second day we went, we both left saying that was a much better day. It just felt more calm, And it's like, yeah, you definitely need multiple days. Like we could easily have gone even another day because there was a lot of things we didn't see. We didn't do a ton of rides because I'm not a big ride person. So we did not do a ton of rides and stuff, but it was good. Like I'd go back. There was a Forever Country show that I could have watched over and over and over again. It is not in today's video, but it is in when we go the second day. But yeah. Okay, so Rachel says, I have all my books picked out for your 2026 challenge already. I'm a mood reader, so I don't think I'll read them in order. That's okay. I was actually just thinking today, because I'm working on reading goals for next year, and what do I want to do? And I was almost thinking, maybe I should do 2 books for every prompt, like just make it more difficult on myself. But I don't know. That might be too. I don't know. We'll see. And Alma, my husband watches my videos too. I think he was my first subscriber. Yeah. Andrew only watches the videos he's in, which I mean, I get. And Terry says, Alma, that is adorable. It is adorable. And Jeannie says, yes. So all the way down the state, north to south, a lot of nature and some old homes. And that'd be really cool. Okay, Michelle says, very creative. I just bought my 26 reading journal. I can't draw that good. No, me neither. I cannot draw. That's why they're all printables and glued in. Alma, he always gives me feedback too. My daughter and grandkids loved Dollywood. Terry, I've had Dollywood on my travel list for so long. I ever going to get there? Rachel, that's great. I have my book ready for Jan, and it fits both the prompts for January. Oh, good for you, Alma. I haven't even thought that far ahead. I'm like, I should work on the recommendations video. And I mean, I know what dual timelines I want to recommend. That is not a problem. That video is definitely coming next week because I want it out fairly early. I got to work on the hidden gems. I'm like, what's the prompt? Wow. Okay, let's read again now that I've chatted past my time limit, but that's okay. We're going to go to 35 again. Not that one. Okay, happy reading, everyone. Okay, so that is the end of that reading sprint. How did you do? I made it to chapter 27, 59%, but I have no idea where I started. I didn't mark it. So, yeah. Oops. Okay, where did we leave off? Okay, so Tabitha, hi. Hello, everyone. I am starting Catching Christmas by Terry Blackstock. Fun. That is a good Christmas book. And Susan got to 32%. Jeannie read The Libyan Diversion and to page 96. Bethany had some distractions, but still read 2.5 chapters. Well, good for you. And Lee finished her Bible reading for the day. Yay. And Alma got to 46% of her book. And Vosine made it to 45% of Leap Day in the Square. So progress is being made. And Kev got to 34 pages read in that sprint. I'm really enjoying Not Exactly Mr. Darcy a lot. Have you read Pride and Prejudice is Mr. Darcy, right? Have you read the original Jane Austen story? Bangs are driving me insane. I fell asleep during that sprint. Well, that happens. And Terry, I read 20 pages. It's okay. Yeah. Are you reading the All's Fair Christmas? Is that the one you're reading? Yeah. Yeah, as I said, I don't even know what I read, but there are some really entertaining moments. And the girls were watching a hockey game, and it was so cool because like I felt like I was watching the game, and a hit happens, and I felt the worry for the player and the replay showing it over, and it's like I hate when they show the replays. And Terry said, it's been a while since I've had a 5-star. Yeah. My last 5-star would have been in November. I mean, I've only read a few books in December. Would have been in November, and it would have been The Women of Oak Ridge. Would have been my last 5-star. Well, actually, no. The Worthy Pursuit by Karen Wittemeyer, but it's a novella, so I don't count it. I mean, I count it, but I don't count it. Does that make sense? Do I have a favorite book that has hockey in it? Well, My Phony Valentine. I loved My Phony Valentine with Dallas and Poppy, which is book 1 of this series. Another one is Love on Ice by Carolyn Miller. It's book 2 of her original 6 hockey series, and it follows a hockey player and a speed skater. And the speed skater was prepping for the Olympics, and it felt so like the adrenaline of her speed skating and stuff. Like wow. Yeah, those are definitely my 2 favorite hockey books. And Cav, I read the original Austen books ages and ages and ages ago. Watched all the adaptations too. I'm not a diehard fan, but I appreciate her work. I get it. Yep. I think the only Austen book I've actually read is Emma, but I have seen multiple adaptations of them. And Terry says, I can't wait to read The Women of Oak Ridge. And Elma, I read Love on Ice and really liked that one. Her speed skating was so exciting. It was, right? Like, wow. And Bethany asked Terry, what was your last 5-star? Do you remember? Vosine, who was the author of Love on Ice book? I love sports and books. Carolyn Miller. Carolyn Miller. Yeah. And you could read book 2 without reading book 1. I mean, it does spoil the relationship in book 1 because book 2 follows the best friend of one of the main characters in book 1, but you totally could. Hi, Krista. Krista, hello, hello. I just joined mid-sprint. I am reading The Arctic Furry tonight, but I think I'm going to head to bed soon. I'm tuckered out. Yeah, well, it is getting late for us. And Bostine says, thank you. And Terry says, my last 5-star was Dear Mrs. Bird in September. Okay. I really enjoyed Dear Mrs. Bird, and I want to continue that series. I own book 3, and there is a book 4, but yeah. Hopefully, I'll read book 3 in January for Epistolary January. That is my plan, which is Mrs. Porter Calling. Where's my book? Yes, yes. Okay, so before we dive into another sprint right away, let's do another prompt and see what we're going to talk about this time. We're not going to talk about that. It was lowest rated. And Alma asks, is Mrs. Bird an epistolary book? No, it is not considered a full epistolary book, but it is people are writing for advice. Like she becomes an advice columnist, right? Yeah, so it's considered, there is letters in it and stuff, so you could read it as an epistolary. And kind of, it's one of the samples that we've used for the bonus prompt of an epistolary series. That series, really, book 2, Yours Cheerfully, is more epistolary because there's more letters in it. But either way, I mean, it's has letters. And Terry says it's not epistolary, but it's about journalism, right? Yeah. Okay, so the prompt I got was continue a series. And kind of perfect. We're talking about the Dear Mrs. Bird series, which is not what the series is actually called, but everybody calls it that, right? Is the Emmy Lake Chronicles is the actual series name. So while we're talking about series, what series do you want to continue? What's kind of at the top of your list to continue? That's the question. What is the series that's at your top of your list that you're anxious to continue? So as I said, for me, it's going to be, I'm going to grab the book. So the series, okay, so book 1 is Dear Mrs. Bird. And book 2 is Yours Cheerfully. And then book 3 is Mrs. Porter Calling. Yes, I do not have the same formats, but that's okay. So this is the one I have yet to read. And then there was a 4th book that just released over the summer called Dear Miss Lake. I think that's what it's called. Something like that. So if I flip through, okay, yes. So in chapter 2, there are letters written like to the newspaper, like, Dear Yours Cheerfully, my mother just got engaged. So, okay. Every time I get up, I lose my blanket, and then I get cold. And Em would like to continue the Christmas Tree Farm series by Jacqueline Frost. And Bethany is, I don't know if the series has a name, but I just finished Authentically Izzy, and I'm interested in reading the others. Yes, that series is called the Skymar series. And book 2 is Positively Penelope, which was my favorite of the series. I absolutely loved Penelope. And then book 3 is Loyally Luke. And Alma would like to finish the Submerged series. How far are you in that series, Alma? That is a 5-book series, I want to say. And Tabitha, I need to read book 3 of the Mark of Lion series by Francine Rivers. I'm saving it for January for Alma's 2026 reading challenge since it's set in biblical times. The first 2 books were 5 stars for me. Oh, good. I've heard good things about that series. And Terry Gabriel Myers, Timeless series, I want to continue. Yeah, everybody's kind of talking about that one. Alma is, I will be on book 3. Okay, you're getting there. A series I want to continue is Holidays in Hadley Springs by Tasha Hackett. The second book just came out and I loved the first one, Waiting for Gilbert, one of my top reads last year. Is that historical or contemporary? It just sounds like historical. I don't know why. It just does. And we've seen the Yonder series by, Yonder, maybe, by John Deacon is a series set in the 1800s, and I love the characters in the wagon train, so I'm looking forward to continue reading about them. Well, that's cool. I like the 1800s. And Jeannie says, easy for me, the Riker series by Joel C. Rosenberg. It will be the last of his series that I haven't finished. And then I will read his standalone novel, and I will have read all of his fiction books. Good for you. Lee says, I guess the Lake City Heroes. I only read the first 2. I have several unfinished series as I tend to quit when I don't like a couple. Yeah, but usually in series, they pick up on a different couple. Usually, not always, but sometimes. Yeah. So Lake City Heroes is Lynette Eason, and book 4 is Final Approach. Oh, book 3 is Serial Burn. I really like books 3 and 4. I think book 2 was my least favorite of them. I think. And Alma says, yeah, Tabitha. I don't know what you're saying yes to, but that's okay. And Lee, speaking of that, I read the Submerged and Shattered from that series, Alma, but I quit when I got to book 3 because I did not like the couple of the book. I remember that. Am I sure about this now? Maybe I should look this up before I say it. Come on, Goodreads, copyright. Yes. Okay. Book 2, Shattered, was my favorite of the series. And it kind of went downhill a little bit for me. A little bit. But yeah. But I mean, I still enjoyed it, but book 2 was definitely my favorite of the series. Okay. Cav says it is a contemporary Christian fiction. See, I was completely wrong. The title just felt like it would be historical. Okay, Lee says, I want to continue the Timeless series. I've only read 3 of them so far. I expect to be starting it in 2026. At least try book 1. M says, yes, Terry, I need to continue Timeless as well. Berlin, I just picked up Dear Mrs. Bird. So glad to hear good things about it. I want to continue Jeopardy Falls. Yes. I just saw today that book 3 of Jeopardy Falls comes out in August next year. I was like, why haven't I seen an announcement yet? So I was searching in August. I'm so excited. I have really enjoyed that series. And Lee, yes, I loved book 2, Shattered too. Yeah, right? Like, I don't know. I have a thing though, a lot of times book 2 tends to be my favorite. I don't know why. Yeah. So right now, the Dear Mrs. Bird is the series that's kind of at the top, but I think because I'm thinking Epistolary 2, what do I have that will fit in that for January, because my December reading is full. I don't know if I will get all my December books read. Well, I say that, but I probably will. Yeah, and then I think after that, well, that would be starting a series, though. There's series I want to start. Well, I should continue the Natchez Park Ranger, Trace Park Ranger series. What is the actual name of that series? Natchez Trace Park Rangers, I think, is the actual series name by Patricia Bradley. I should continue that series because I've started book 1 before I start a bunch more series. That would probably be the smart thing to do. So we'll see. That is kind of, I was trying to think of goals earlier today. I'm like, what kind of goals do I want to set? And I was like, I should like continue series or finish series within so many months of starting them so that I don't have a bunch started. But I'm pretty good at continuing series, except I have quite a few started right now. Yeah. Lee, I read 31 of the 32 books. Wow, in Karen Kingsbury's Baxter Family series. So I need to finish that one since I'm so, yeah. Wow. Wow, I thought I was bad. And I have the Psalm 23 series by Debbie Vigay. I have read up to book 19. So I have 23, 24, or 21. Wow, math. 20, 21, 22, 23. Or have I read book 20? I don't know. I'm somewhere in there. I have the last 3 for sure, maybe 4. And I was like, okay, I need to finish that series. Because, I mean, I hadn't finished it because the books weren't released yet, but now they're all released. So, yeah. And Alma says, Lee, I'm hoping to start the Baxter series next year. I have the first set. That's a long series to get into. Wow. Terry, I'm not sure where I left off with the Baxters. And I'm really interested in that Psalm series. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hesitant about rereading. I want to reread the series, but I'm hesitant about rereading book 1 when I work at a church and I enter the church alone a lot of times. And Cindy, the secretary, the main character of that book, walks in and finds a dead body in the sanctuary when she's arriving to work. And I'm just like, that's constantly in my mind now. Never mind if I was reading the book. Even though like I read book 1, like, oh my gosh, it's probably been 5 years since I read that. I would be my guess. I don't know, but I still think about it. And Lee, I loved the Baxter Family series. Also, there are 3 seasons on Prime. Each season goes with a book. So read the first 3 books, then watch the Prime series. Roma Downey did a great job. That's cool. I've heard about the series on Prime. Like I've heard about it, but I've never read any of the Baxter. But yeah, that's good to know that they go with a book. Like that's cool. Good information, Lee. And Alma says, yeah, that's good to know. Okay. No, well, I'm where I was last sprint when I said, we should chat for another 6 minutes so that I could go at the top of the hour. But what do I chat about for 6 minutes? Oh, that's funny. Or I could just, start at an odd time, which is fine too. How are you guys feeling? Do you want 1 more sprint or do you want 2 more sprints? How are you feeling? It's 5 to 10 here. I usually go to bed 11:30-ish, but I like to be like slowed down, right? And I wonder where Anne is on. Can I read more of Merry Mistake, or do I switch back to my heavier read? I don't want to get too far in front of Anne. That's my problem. Okay. Where did I stop? Okay. M says 2 more. Yeah, because you're a number of hours behind me. That's funny. And Bethany says, I'm usually in bed by now. Well, that's fine. Alma says, I'm going to head to bed now. It's been fun reading with everyone tonight. Good night. Good night, Alma. Thank you for coming in. And Lee says, whatever works best for you. I'm a night owl, so I'm good with either. Yeah, I am definitely a night owl. I hate getting up in the morning, but I have to get up in the morning for work, right? So, yeah, I'm definitely a night owl, though. Tabitha says, I'm good for 2, but I'm also in the central time zone. And M says, good night to Alma. Okay, so we're going to do 2. The second one might be a little bit shorter. That's all. Because I wasn't feeling like reading when I started tonight, but I feel like reading now. So we're going to go for half an hour. So we're going to go to 25 after this time. So let's bring the sprint back, or the ambient back, and happy reading. Okay, come on back. That is the end of that sprint. How did you do that time? So where did I start? $117 to $140, so 23 pages. And they're having a Bible study in the jail. And they were talking about King James being the only version, the only authorized version. And then they were taking the reading from the King James, reading it from the NIV, and then somebody was translating it to street slang. So this is, where are we? So in the King James, verily I say to thee, which as translated meant, this is straight up from your mama. I was like, this is funny. Yeah. Oh. So there is heaviness in it, but it's lighthearted at times. However, there's one scene with a lawyer and some kids, and I don't like this lawyer. I mean, they're meant to be the bad person. So it's like, oh, the way things can be twisted. I don't like it. Okay. I had such a hard time getting up this morning, and I'm usually a morning person. Yeah. Bethany said good night to everyone. So you're probably gone, Bethany. I read a chapter and a half in Still the One. I'm really enjoying it. The Christensen family is mentioned a good amount so far. I absolutely loved Susan May Warren's Christensen family series. Yes, I did. Eden and Jace are definitely my favorite from the Christensen family. And I don't remember which book they are. I almost want to say book 2, but I could be mistaken on that. But yeah, they were definitely my favorite. Terry got 17 pages read. It's so fun seeing old familiar characters I loved. Yeah, like I always love when old characters show up, especially when you're not expecting. So Tabitha got her Bible study done. Good for you. Jeannie read 14 pages and is a quarter of the way through. Em switched to audio for Tide and Punishment, had dinner, and now working on my Christmas cards. I want to get them mailed out in the next couple days. Yeah. We have ours sitting, oh, you can't see them, sitting on the table over there. And he said, we need to get them done this weekend for sure. Bosine, there's a Bible study going on in my book too. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Cav said, woohoo, I made it halfway through my book tonight. Yay. Thanks for providing the inspiration. I'm heading to bed. Good night. Good night. And Lee, Casper, and Rhea were my Raina? Were my favorites. I liked Casper. Yeah, but yeah, but it's kind of almost not surprising that Jace is my favorite. You know what he does or did. Yeah. Yeah. But now I don't know. Do I It was a hockey family. Yes, it was. Yeah. Totally. Do I switch to back to My Merry Mistake for the next sprint? Or do I keep reading in this one? I feel like I'm not making any progress. Like I feel like my bookmark is barely moving. Why is that? That is so weird. I say the chapters are short. I mean, I'm on chapter 28, but it really feels like it's not moving. I wonder how many chapters are actually in this book. The fact that I'm on page 140 and I'm already on 28. Oh, there's almost 400 pages in this book. There's 81 chapters. 81. That's insane. Oh, that's funny. I don't want to go straight back to reading. So, do we pull another prompt? Do we find another book to talk about? Or author to talk about? Here we go. I'm trying to get to the bottom because I feel like I've used the ones on the top. Oh, I guess we're going this one because it came out. Ooh. Oh, that's funny. A book with no people on the cover. The book I'm reading has no people on the cover. But the book I talked about earlier, In Too Deep, has no people on the cover. Oh, that's too funny. My other two books that I have sitting here do have people on the cover. It does definitely. Between the Sound and Sea by Amanda Cox has no people on the cover. And I would consider that a dual timeline. It would be one I'd recommend for January. Because they're finding notes and you're getting the story from the past. Yeah. So, are you drawn to people on the cover of a book? Or do you prefer not to have people on the cover or to have people on the cover? For me, it really depends. I don't want their faces on the cover. But I don't know why. I don't know why that is exactly, because I don't tend to picture the characters either. So it's not like the faces would throw me off. But yeah. And Leah says, my book doesn't have people on the cover either. Hey, there you go. And Em says, when my nephew was about 2 or 3, I used to take him to the local hockey team games. He grew to love hockey. Montreal Canadiens are his favorite team. He was always listening to whatever game is on. Yeah. That's me to a certain extent, because we only get a few sports channels, and because I don't live in the broadcast area for my team, most of the time they're not on TV. So I will listen to them on the radio. But not all the time, though. I don't do it as much because I will usually just watch a different team instead and just keep. But yeah. And this year he joined 2 amateur leagues and is loving it. That's cool. Tabitha says, my book doesn't have any people on the cover. Definitely want to read Between the Sound and Sea for January. Yeah, that was so good. That was so good. And Tabitha, I prefer not having faces on the cover so I can picture the character myself as I'm reading. Yes. See, you can't really tell a lot, but like this one has people, but they don't have faces. That bugs me. I mean, they have eyebrows. He definitely has eyebrows, but has no eyes, no nose, no, that's just weird. That's just weird. I don't like those covers. Jeannie, the Libyan Diversion, has no people on the cover, like most, if not all, of Joel C. Rosenberg's books. I'm not drawn to people. I really don't pay that much attention to the cover. Yeah. I wouldn't pick this one up because of the cover, because it's kind of boring, honestly. And what? They're driving in a car down a road. What does that have to do with the story? Right now, nothing. Right now, nothing. Weird. Whereas this one, for example, right? You've got the laptop underwater. You can tell that they're underwater because you've got the seaweed type stuff. That totally has to do with the cover or with the story. They find a body under in the water, and they are dive team investigators. Like, yeah, weird. My current read has no people on the cover. I don't think any of Bree Baker's series has people on the cover. Yeah. Tabitha says the non-faced people has always been strange to me. Yeah. Those are the books I would rather just have on my Kindle because I don't see the cover. Yeah, yeah. Terry says people on the cover are fine. I just need a pretty cover. Yes. Tabitha's laughing. And M says, I kind of don't like those no face covers, but I don't mind no people on the cover. Yeah, like it all depends. I think a lot of times, like I like these two. I have these two sitting here. Why do I have these two? Oh, they're some of my newest books coming in. I have to record them. So like Codebreaker's Daughter by Amy Lynn Green, like there's a person on the cover, but she's facing away, so you don't have her face, except you know that she has a face. And then again, we have The Christmas Bargain by Shanna Hatfield. Again, they're facing away, but you can kind of see his face a bit, but he's facing away enough that, yeah, that's what I prefer. The back of people, or a lot of, I think it's Lynette Eason's, a lot of them, like the book cover ends, like kind of you see the chin and that's it. Yeah. Lee says, I think the trend now is to have people turn so you don't see their face, but most of the older books used to have the people's faces on them. I think they moved away from that. Yes. Yeah. I think especially it was the illustrated covers like My Merry Mistake where they had a lot of the people without faces, and I don't like those covers. Not at all. And Terry says no faces remind me of Amish dolls. Yeah. Yeah. That's because they don't have mirrors. Yeah. Because like I have 4 books. You can't. I mean, you can only see Women of Oak Ridge that you really can't see that well, but she's facing away. But I have 4 books facing out. Oh, I have 5 books. You can't see the other one. It has no people though. And the other 2 have people. One is they're both facing towards, but so you do see their face. But yeah. I wonder how many books do I have with people, and how many books do I not have with people? I'm not counting them. Just a thought. I wonder what I have more of. Yeah. So M says, I didn't know about the mirror. I only have a mirror in the bathroom. They only have a mirror. What I learned when we went to Lancaster, Pennsylvania last year, they only have a mirror in the kitchen, and basically so that the dad could shave. They're not allowed a mirror anywhere else in the house. Yeah. Okay, let's do our last reading sprint. It is 20 to 11 for me. So we're going to go to the top of the hour because that's the sprint I have, the banner I have. So we're going to go to the top of the hour. It'll be a 20-minute sprint this time, and it will be our last sprint. Okay, so that is the end of our sprints for tonight. How did you do? I read another chapter in My Merry Mistake, and I'm really enjoying it right now. I wasn't a big fan of Rhea for a portion of the book. She just kind of annoyed me being so stubborn. But I love Finn, and I'm really liking that Rhea is starting to see some things and have some realizations. And I'm really liking it right now. But so I finished that chapter, and then I didn't want to continue on to another chapter because it would have taken me past the sprint time because I like to finish at chapters. So then I was just marking down notes for my gifted books. And I always like fill out a post-it note and put it inside the book of when I purchased it so that I can write when I've read it. Or if I had read it as an ebook or something, I make that note as well and when I got the physical copy of it. But funny story, when I was doing that for this book, which I've read multiple times, it is on my December TBR. I should have read it in November because I have read this book November 2015, November 2018, November 2020, November 2022. Now I knew this was going to be my fifth time reading it. It has been a 5-star read every time I've read it. And I purchased it for my birthday, November, but I should have read it in November. I'm breaking my November trend and reading in December. I didn't realize it's always been November when I've read it. That's funny. Okay. So Terry says they see it as graven images. Yes, they do. So Jeannie, by the way, I'm loving the ambient room with the crackling fire. Yeah, me too. And a lot of these ones have like snow and stuff, but you can't really see the snow so much in this one. Like it's not like front and center in your face. I like that. I get that outside in real life. I don't need it in my ambient rooms as well. And I love fire. Thought of being warm. Tabitha got one chapter read. Rosine got to 50%. Yay. I'm also not enjoying the main character too much, and she's about to reveal a secret to her sisters, so I'm wondering what that is. Ooh. And Jeannie got to page 118, just over a quarter way through. Thanks for the sprints. I needed it. Well, thank you. I got a lot more reading done tonight than I probably would have if I hadn't sprinted. And Lee read another chapter, loving my book. That's awesome. I'd love to hear that. So Em, I'm really enjoying Tide and Punishment. I made progress on my cards. I'll work on them a couple more hours while listening to my book. Thanks for the sprints. Well, thank you for coming. And Em says, also, I think you need to make that book a scheduled November read, right? Except it's also been every other, 18, well, other than the first year I read it, but 18, 20, 22. What happened to 24? Gosh. So Annie got to 19% in the Christmas Eve. Good. And Terry is about halfway point 2. Good. I made it. How far did I make it in My Merry Mistake? I want to say 70. Oh, 62. 62%. And probably a quarter in my other book because I don't feel like I've got very far on that one. But that's okay. Okay, I am signing off. Thank you everyone for joining tonight. I will not have any more sprints in December. Just doesn't work with my husband's work schedule and stuff. Oh, wait, I can't leave without saying. Em says, so every even year, read it again in 2026 and then not again until 20. Okay, why not? I'm okay with that. And Jamie's here. Hi, just popping in. Though it's almost bedtime. Well, we're just getting ready to sign off, Jamie. It's okay, but thank you for coming in and saying hi. Annie says, thanks for sprints. Okay, so as I was saying, they will not be any more sprints in December. I'm January, but I don't have a date yet. and maybe I'll have some guest hosts in January because I'm co-hosting Epistolary January, so maybe I can convince some of them to pop on. I don't know. We'll see. Just keep an eye out on the channel, and I'll let you know when I can schedule one. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.